Well, first, happy Easter to everyone, and thank you very much for being here. You know, I think we tend to look at Easter as something that happens once a year, an annual event that just comes around, is here for 24 hours, and then goes away for 364 other days. And that is true about the day we call Easter. But resurrection is not limited like that. Every single one of us can experience resurrection whenever we need it, whenever we have fallen into sin, whenever we despair of God's love and mercy. Let me give you an example. It's a hot afternoon in a dusty little town. The streets are empty. Everyone is keeping as cool as they can indoors. A lone woman is thirsty. So she takes her empty pitcher and ventures out into the blazing heat to go down to the town well and draw some water. As she walks through the deserted streets, she is relieved that nobody is about. Her neighbors are all cooling off in their houses. Because if there had been any people on the street, she would have had to bow her head in shame and keep her eyes fixed on the ground as she passed them, careful not to brush against or make eye contact with anyone. No one would have spoken to her or stepped aside to make room for her because she is an outcast, an unwelcome sight in their little town. And so this hot afternoon is a gift to her, the freedom to walk wherever she wants and keep her head upheld. But as she nears the well, her heart falls. It looks like there is someone there. In the shimmering heat of the afternoon, the figure is almost a mirage. As she squints to see, the apparition becomes clearer. It is her worst nightmare, a lone man. To the people of the town, she is a fallen woman, accused by all of having improper relations with men. And so she always makes a point of never being alone with a man, lest further rumors get started and greater scorn be heaped upon her. Now, seeing the man at the well, she has to make a choice. Turn around and go home, or get some of that cooling water that she is now desperate for. She decides to chance it. Perhaps this man is not from the town and would not know her reputation. Or perhaps he would just do as everyone else did and ignore her, look right through her as if she isn't there. She comes closer cautiously, and then realizes something even more troubling. This man is not of her people. He comes from the unfriendly country just over the mountain. What is he doing here? In her country, her town, her well. She doesn't know what to do. She feels like turning and running as fast as she can back to her house. But then the man looks up at her, right into her eyes, and says, "Give me a drink." His words and tone annoy her. No please, or pleasant chit-chat about the hot day, just give me a drink. Boldly, she demands, "How is it that you, a Jew, ask a drink of me, a woman of Samaria?" She says this because he is from that country over the mountain, Israel, or Judea, as the Romans called it. And for centuries, the Jews of Israel had considered themselves superior in every way to those next door, the Samaritans. The rift between them is so wide that Jews never even speak to a Samaritan if they can avoid it, and certainly never share food or water. The man's features soften. He realizes that the woman is afraid of him. He gestures for her to sit on the edge of the well across from him. He doesn't want to approach too closely because he can sense her fear and shame. So he keeps the wide opening of the well between them. I'm sorry for troubling you. I realize that you don't know me and that it's considered wrong for us to be talking. But if you knew who I am and knew that I bring the gifts of God, you would more likely have asked me to give you a drink. And it wouldn't be from this well, but instead from God's great well of living water. Now the woman is really offended. This haughty Jew is criticizing the water from their sacred well. Scoffing at him, she retorts, "And just how do you think you could do that? You don't even have a bucket. And this well is deep. The water is many feet below the surface." Her indignation rises. "And just where do you get this living water you speak of? Do you think you're a greater person than our ancestor Jacob? You know he's the one who dug this well. His sons and flocks drank from it. So what makes you think you can do better than Jacob?" The man lowers his head and thinks for a moment. Then looking her in the eyes, he softly explains, "You're right about the well, of course, but that's not what I was talking about." He pauses. "You know, everybody who drinks from this well will be satisfied for a while, but they will always be thirsty again. But the people who drink the water that I'm talking about will never again be thirsty, because the water that I'm offering will turn into a fountain gushing up into eternal life. That's the living water that I'm talking about." The woman at the well is stunned. The stranger just told her that he can give her eternal life. It seems to her that several minutes pass in silence, and she ponders what he has told her. Then she feels an overwhelming desire to have some of that water. "Sir, give me this water that I may never be thirsty or have to come here to draw water again." The stranger looks deep into the woman's eyes as if he could see into the depths of her soul. And then he speaks. "I don't want people to see us talking here because it's not the way that things are done and there could be a scandal. Go call your husband and come back with him." The woman blushes with shame, bows her head, gazing down into the still water of the well. Almost inaudibly, she says to him, "Sir, I have no husband." Now the man walks around the well and stands right before her. He lowers his head and catches her eye, so she looks up at him. Instead of rejection and disgust, she sees in his face only compassion and caring. "You're right to say you have no husband, but that's not the whole story, is it? You have had 5 husbands, and the man you are living with right now is not your husband, is he?" The woman trembles with fear. This stranger must have heard about her. Even on the other side of the mountain, her shame and reputation must be known. She wants to crawl into a hole and hide. Somehow, she finds the words to try to answer him. "Well, you must be some kind of prophet," she says, hoping to change the subject. He makes no reply. She tries another tack. "Well, from the days of Jacob, our people have worshipped God on this mountain," pointing to the peak towering above the town. "But your kind say that the place where people must worship is in Jerusalem." Without showing the least anger or displeasure at her words, the man says, "Good woman, believe me, the time is coming when people will worship the Father in a new way, not on this mountain or in Jerusalem." Wide-eyed, she listens closely as he goes on. "We both worship the same God, but your people say that a human cannot really know God, and my people say that true worship and salvation can only come from doing it our way. But I tell you that the time is very near when all that will mean nothing, because true worshipers will worship the Father in a new way that doesn't need a mountain or altar or sacrifices. They will worship God in spirit and in truth. And that's really the only kind of people that our Father wants to worship him. Placing his hand gently on her shoulder, he tells her, God is spirit. And those who worship God must worship in spirit and truth. The woman's body shakes under his gentle touch, and tears fill her eyes. She is almost afraid to speak, but she thinks she is beginning to realize who this stranger is, and it terrifies her. Her voice trembling with awe, she says to him, I know that Messiah, or Christ, is coming. And when he comes, he will proclaim all things to us. With a kindly smile, he removes his hand from her shoulder and says softly, Here I am. I'm the one you were talking about. There is only silence, as the woman feels a gentle peace settle upon her. No more shame. No more hiding her face from others. No more past sins to atone for. She feels free, redeemed, saved. Then suddenly the man's friends come back from the town, where they had gone to buy something to eat. As they noisily approach, they see their leader speaking alone, unchaperoned, with a strange woman. Some of them had heard from the townspeople that she is a woman of ill repute, and they are shocked that he is speaking with her. Some of them think, we should have left one or more of us with him so that this kind of thing wouldn't happen. Seeing them approach, the woman runs off, leaving her pitcher behind. She runs into the town, where the people are beginning to come out of their houses to resume their work and shopping in the cool evening breeze. Forgetting all about the shunning and rejection, she exclaims to every person she meets on the street, You have to come and see a man who told me everything I have ever done. I know it's unbelievable, but I'm sure he is the Messiah. And many people of that Samaritan village do just what the woman says. They go out to the well. They see Jesus. They hear his message of salvation, of forgiveness, of resurrection. And they believe in him. It is true. Easter comes only one day a year. But resurrection, realizing our need for God in our lives and accepting God's offer of love and forgiveness, can happen to us anytime, any day. All we need to do is ask, Sir, give me this water. Amen.